The second part of this multi-step equation puzzle is something called the distributive property. Again, something that probably took weeks and weeks to teach you. So the distributive property starts out like this. If I gave you this problem and asked you how to do it, you probably wouldn't even think twice. You would probably say, well, order of operations says do what's in the parentheses first, and because that 3 is right there, that's how I would do that problem at least. That's probably how you would too, right? Okay? Unless you're fancy pants and you've been in algebra for so long, what is the other option? You could do what, Ben? Distribute. You could distribute and say, well, the fact that there's 1, 3, but an expression inside the parentheses means I have to take every little number inside that parentheses, every term, and multiply it by 3 and then add those all together. So I could do the 3 times the 2 and add it to the 3 times the 6. Would I get the same answer? Yes. 6 plus 18 is also 24. Took me a little more steps to get there, so it's really not the ideal way that I would do this problem, okay? But it works. You're multiplying, it's kind of like passing out papers. Here's a 3 for you, here's a 3 for you. Multiply and then add them all together. But there are times where this is not an option. For example, in algebra, we use variables all the time. So if I were to say, hey, I want you to multiply 3 times the quantity, or the sum of x plus 6. Remember how this was on one of our tests and we forgot the parentheses? So I'm asking you to multiply 3 times the sum, x plus 6. Can you add x plus 6? Nope. So as much as you want to follow order of operations and do what's in the parentheses, there's another math rule that says you can't. So you have no option. You have to do it this way, okay? So let's see what that looks like. And then you can't add 3 plus x, but can you multiply 3 times x? Yes. The rules for multiplying are way less strict, okay? So 3 times x, go for it. It's just 3x. And then 3 times a positive 6 is 18. Can I make that 21x? Nope. That is my answer, plain and simple. Are you good with that? Okay, I'm really kind of buzzing through these. So the next option would be I distributed a positive 3 to a positive 6. Let's distribute a positive 3 to a negative 6 now. It's not going to change much. You're still going to have that 3x, but this time I'm doing 3 times a negative 6. And watch, how do I write it? Looks like a minus, but it's really a negative. Yes? All right. Now, let's distribute a negative. Let's make that 3 negative, and let's distribute it to a positive. Again, this is a review. This normally would take weeks to teach. You used it all last year. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Now what's negative 3 times a positive 6? It's also negative 18. And I have one more to do. I have to do what? I have to distribute a negative to a negative now. So let's distribute that negative 3 to that negative 6. Can you anticipate what it's going to do? Probably. So it's going to give you negative 3x. And then negative 3 times negative 6 is, look, how am I going to write it? Plus 18. Okay? Are you good with that? Okay, because now what I have to do is put both of those pieces of puzzle together. So I taught you how to combine like terms. I taught you, or reminded you rather, how to use the distributive property. Now we're going to do combining like term problems with the distributive property in it. So are you ready? So if I have 2x minus 3 times x minus 1 plus 4. Okay? So this is, by the time you're doing these problems in 7th grade pre-algebra, weeks have gone by, you are combining 2 separate lessons. Be careful, because here's what I'm going to say to you. You have to do parentheses first, right? But you can't. So you have to distribute. Watch what I'm gonna, whenever kids struggled with this, I always had them box off what they need to do first. What needs to go inside that box? Evan?
The -3.
Good. I have to distribute the -3. So what's going on with these two? Nothing. Okay? You must bring them down though, because they are going to play a part. They're waiting to be added to whatever you get after you distribute. So this is hanging out. This gives me this. This gives me +3, and then this 4 comes down. Are you with me? So we're going to say step 1 is to distribute. What operation does distribute mean? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. So when you distribute, you multiply. What would step 2 be? Not distribute, but the first thing we learned. Combine. Good. What operation does combining ask you to do? Add, or I guess you could say subtract, but technically subtract is really adding, blah, blah, blah. So now I'm looking and I'm saying that 2 positive x's, and if you are confused still, bubble it up. What's a positive 2x and a negative 3x give you? Negative 1x, but you probably will see it written that way. And then what does 3 plus 4 give you? +7. Got it? Okay. What if I, Dominic? What's that? Yeah. So I have 2 minus 3x plus 5 plus 10x. So this one always causes a little bit of confusion, because what am I really distributing? Riley? The negative sign, or you could look at it as I'm distributing a -1. And all that means is take the opposite of every term inside there. And I'm leaving this alone. I'm distributing that, and I'm changing that positive 3x to a negative, changing that positive 5 to a negative, and then I'm recopying everything else. So I did step 1. I distributed with multiplication. Now let's do step 2. Combine with addition and subtraction. I'm going to combine, and at this point, you can choose to put your answer however you want. Let me make sure you guys understand this, because some people start with whatever's there first. -2 plus -5 is -7. Negative 3x plus positive 10x is positive 7x. That's a totally okay answer. This is also a totally okay answer, isn't it? Okay? Ideally, this one is a little more organized. You're almost always going to see your coefficient, or your constant rather, at the end. Okay? So, are we good with this so far? So that is basically combining like terms and distributing. So now